Welcome in to the TGI Friday Fun Astrology Podcast. We are talking about April 23rd. Wow, we are moving on through April, aren't we? 2021 is starting to click. Wow. Okay, we've got a lot to do, so let's roll in here. We're going to stay focused. So first of all, we have a Virgo moon as we are getting up today, and the moon will ingress to Libra tomorrow at 12:05 p.m. All the times today are Eastern, and it will have about a 6-hour void of course. So the void of course times for tomorrow are from 6:49 a.m. to the ingress at 12:05 p.m. So basically in the U.S., if you wake up in the morning, most of the morning for you on the East Coast at least will be void of course. Then you will have a Libran moon for the rest of the weekend. Now today at 7:37 this morning, just a little while from the release of this, Mars will move into Cancer. One of the other little sub-podcasts that we're going to do is to answer or further extrude the question that we answered earlier this week from one of you asking about how do you tell if there's a strong planet in your chart? There's more to say about that, and I'll do that in a special as well. And one of those things that we haven't done enough here, and I'm going to do more. Now, this gets into schools of astrology, too, because like Steve Forrest, for example, would not have this conversation. Chris Brennan would absolutely have this conversation. So it just depends on which flavor you prefer. But Mars in Cancer is what is called in fall. Now, I'll leave you to Google if you want to find out the details of it before we do the episode, but I will explain what that means. What it really means is Mars is grumpy in Cancer. It means Mars is a square peg in a round hole. Now that I'm in North Carolina in the mountains, it kind of makes me think of this. We tried to clean Jethro up and take him into town, but the minute he opened his mouth, the whole thing was shot. That's what you're talking about when a planet is in fall. It's like, we just don't have a fit here. Well, that's kind of Mars in Cancer. Could we expect some trouble? Well, maybe I should put that on the list, and we could address that as well. But, yeah, maybe. Because we were talking about the planets starting to ungroup, right? Unstellium themselves. It doesn't happen for another couple of months. But here is Mars starting to pull away from the pack a little bit. All the retrogrades will catch up with that, but Mars will be in Cancer and we will have our eye on it. And one of the big reasons why is because as these planets start to separate more, the aspects are going to get very important. Now, the other big aspect this weekend, we mentioned it yesterday, it happens on Sunday. Venus will square Saturn. Sunday afternoon, 12:21 Eastern Time. So there's that whole Saturn, Uranus, Venus, Taurus, the whole thing, the whole enchilada is going to be spotlighted over the next few days. So there's everything we talked about yesterday, now not only in an aspect with Chiron, but now in a square with Saturn. So if you are feeling pressure or feeling delays or feeling challenges around a relationship or around money, those are the broad categories. Yesterday we covered it in greater detail. Well, just realize that Lord Karma has entered the room. Now, as promised, I love doing these listener questions. You guys are sending in some great ones. How do you do it? You go to funastrology.com and you go right to the top. There's an orange box and you can leave your question in your voice without leaving your name or your email. And then we do this.
Hi, Thomas, and hi, everybody out there. This is Mary Susan out in Northern California. And I was wondering, Thomas, what does it mean if you have an empty house in your chart?
Okay, let's define what she means by having an empty house. So that's if you look at your astrological chart and there are no planets in the house or the sign. You go, wait a minute, am I comatose in that area? Am I dead? Like, who's the guy on Shark Tank? You're dead to me. Is that house dead to you? No, that house is not dead to you. Not at all. You may have a stack of energy over in, well, like let's say that you were born today, for example. You would have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Uranus in Taurus. And you would have nothing in Cancer or Libra or Scorpio. So does that mean that those areas are void in your life? No, it doesn't. And I'll tell you why. It's because every sign has a ruling planet. So what you do is you get on Google and you Google, first of all, astrology ruling planets, and that will give you a list of what planets rule what signs. So then you find the empty sign. So let's just take Cancer. I'm looking at it on today's chart. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is right next door in Leo. So now all of a sudden you have Cancer is seasoned or flavored by the moon in Leo. Now remember what we've said of a planet being in the next house from its rulership. It kind of is a little grumpy. So if the moon is about our soft emotions and our deep internal connection with our higher self and our source, and it's our lifeline to the home office, like my buddy Hemmett says, and it's in fiery, all about me, put me on the stage, let me shine, summertime Leo, you see what I'm talking about. So in that area of your life, Cancer, where it shows up, and now you have to bring in, here's the synthesis, you have to bring in the house, which is where the play or the drama is unfolding, that aspect of your life that Cancer rules. As I'm parked on today's chart for the morning, Cancer happens to be in the third house. So we would take that third house about communication, education, siblings, short-term travel, neighbors, and because it's ruled by the moon, we would know that we're going to have some flex and some flow in that area of our life, and we would be doing really well not to get fixed or locked down on anything in that particular area. And also, because the moon is in Leo, we could roar in that area of our life. We could be a little more bold than we normally would if we were heavily influenced by the moon itself in Cancer. So we could live on the edge a little bit more. We could put ourselves out there. We could write a book. We could do a speech. We could get on YouTube and start a channel and probably get some followers. And we would also have to realize that if we got too strong and too dominant, then we're going to run people off. So we would learn where that line is for us and for others and how to stay on the positive side of it. So really, you look to the ruling planet for all of the decision matrix and metrics around what that house and sign represent. Okay, I know that was a little bit complicated, but hopefully that helps. You might have to listen back through that one twice. I am planning to be around. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm planning on being with you again over the weekend, at least one, if not both days. Have a great TGI Friday. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Bye-bye.